Apple just admitted the iPad was broken after all. They didn't say it directly, but the iPadOS 26 updates they announced fixes problems that we all know shouldn't have existed for this long. And I'd say there are still two things stopping this from being the moment that you can ditch your MacBook and go full on iPad. Welcome back to the Feel Productive channel. My name's Ez. Let's get into it. So the iPadOS 26 announcements, I would say, were the most exciting of all of the things that Apple introduced a couple of weeks ago. And the iPad has gotten maybe its most significant update ever with iPadOS 26. And I'm using the beta version, and I've dusted down my 11-inch M4 iPad Pro from my drawers and once again tried to answer the age-old question, can it replace my laptop? So what's good and what's not so good, and has it made any material difference? Well, kind of. So in terms of what's new, the design and navigation overhaul, I think, would probably be the first thing that you'd notice. And the new design feels really smooth and pleasant to navigate. It still feels distinctly iPadOS-like, but all of these subtle little changes add up to make a better user experience, I would say. There are some refinements that need to be made for sure. Like, for example, in the control center, the glass overlay kind of clashes with what's underneath it, and it just looks like a bit of a mess. The dock can now fit up to 23 apps, which includes folders as well, so you got quick and easy access to your folders, which is a really nice addition. And there's a new cursor that mimics a mouse pointer that's just not a circle. Basically, it's not an afterthought anymore. It gives you that desktop-like experience, and it gives you more of a precise way of navigating through the operating system. And the feature that most people are excited about are the window management features that have been introduced, which allow you to tile and overlap windows and size them and manage them exactly as you would a normal computer. You can enable this in the control center. You can choose between Stage Manager, which no one's going to do, and full freeform movement of windows. And once you've enabled it, you can basically do what you like with your windows. And that's been a feature that everyone has been talking about that the iPad has been lacking. So let's see if that actually improves productivity. I've been messing about with it and I've got thoughts on it. Honestly, I'm kind of mixed. But if you're touching the screen, you can actually flick the windows left and right, which actually is really nice and really satisfying. And there are now stoplight indicators on the top left of every window, just like in Mac, where you can close windows and minimize them. And you can also maximize, or if you hold down the maximize button, you can actually arrange your windows in different configurations, which is also a really nice touch. So they have definitely given everyone what they want, for sure. I'm not mad at that. Actually, I think it's a really nice addition. I just don't know if it's a game changer for productivity, and I'll get into that in a minute. And there are a bunch of small but significant features that I think added up really enhance your ability to be productive on the iPad, such as background processing of tasks. Like if you're exporting a video in Final Cut Pro or you're downloading a large file, that will now run in the background. You now no longer need to have your app open. That's going to be a game changer for people who have resource intensive workflows using the iPad. And it actually might incline me to start using apps like Final Cut Pro and Logic more often on the iPad itself. The Files app also has really matured. You can now navigate your files in a much more intuitive way that mimics Finder on the Mac. So that's also a really welcome upgrade, and again, something that a lot of people have been crying out for. And there are a bunch of built-in tools that really I can't believe weren't here before. Like, for example, the Preview app, which, the iPad with the Apple Pencil and your ability to mark up PDFs and images, it just seems obvious that the Preview app should have been here all along. And you can also enable local capture in Control Center, which enables you to record calls and videos in meetings natively. So if you're someone that does lots of podcasts and stuff like that and need to capture the audio and video, then you can do that now natively on iPadOS 26. This video is sponsored by TomTok, who are the creators of this amazing sling made specifically for the iPad 11-inch. Now, I don't go anywhere outside with my iPad unless it's in this sling. It feels lightweight and more minimal than wearing a backpack. And if you want to go iPad only when you're out, this is the perfect bag to carry it around in. You can also put a bunch of stuff in there, like your camera, your earphones. You can put all of your plugs and adapters and all of your other EDC. It will fit pretty much all of the minimal stuff that you need in order to go outside and use your iPad to get productive. There's also a 13-inch variant as well if that's the one that you have, and I'll leave a link to both of those in the description box below. Thanks again to TomTalk for sponsoring this video, and if you like what you're seeing so far, then please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech and productivity content. I know you want to. And there've been a bunch of cool upgrades from across the board that aren't necessarily iPad specific, but I still think you'd benefit from as an iPad user. For example, in Apple Notes, you can now save notes as markdown files, which is huge for cross-platform workflows. And we've now started to see Apple Intelligence creep in to Apple native apps. Not a lot, but actually some of the features have been pretty cool. Like for example, if you share a note to your Reminders app, Apple Intelligence will automatically suggest actionable tasks based on the note that you're sharing. And I imagine if you're a Reminders user and an Apple Notes user, this would be a really nice feature to try. And if you are a Reminders user, you can now use Apple Intelligence to auto-categorize your lists. So if you've got a bunch of stuff in a list and it's sort of unorganized, you can then select the auto categorization feature. So by far the most significant use of Apple Intelligence integration. And I think one of the biggest announcements that I haven't seen enough hype about is the ability to integrate Apple Intelligence into shortcuts. Now I've been messing about with this and I've got 2 shortcuts that I'm going to show you, but I feel like I've only just scratched the surface. So if you want to see more advanced shortcuts, I will be doing a video on that soon, so do subscribe if you want to see that. The first is one called Summarize My Day, where it will take all of my to-dos for today from things free, and it will then start to analyze them and figure out, are they urgent or are they optional, and kind of prioritize the things I need to do first. I've also got another app which is called the email dictation shortcut, where basically I hit the button and I can just dictate what I want to say in an email, and it will summarize it and structure it as an email and then save that text to an Apple Note, and I can then copy and paste that text to my email reply. And up until this point, I've been using apps like Super Whisper to do exactly the same thing, but I can now do that with a shortcut. Like I say, I think there are many other use cases for this, and it's opened up a world of possibilities. So you can definitely make your iPad a productivity beast with this new integration. So in terms of the final verdict on iPadOS 26 so far, I'd say the windowing interface was the last real major thing that they needed to do, and they've delivered it. Ultimately, when I've used my iPad kind of in a portable way, when I've gone out with it, I've still only used it as a 1 or 2 app device. Like I haven't used the window management side of things because it's an 11-inch screen and it just doesn't make sense to have like loads of overlapping windows. Really nothing much has changed from that perspective, but then when you dock it, it no longer feels like a gimmick to be able to extend your display. Whereas a couple of years ago with Stage Manager, it really did feel kind of gimmicky and it felt buggy and stuff just really didn't work too well. Here's the thing though, I never really understood why this was such a requested feature because, well, at least from a productivity perspective, having loads of windows open and overlapping each other just isn't really conducive to productivity. I find it really distracting having loads of things open at the same time, and maybe for certain workflows, it will make things easier to transfer information from one app to the other. But in general, I found it doesn't help with my focus, so it wouldn't have been the top of my wish list in terms of what I wanted from the iPad. So the first real thing that stops me going full iPad are the apps. These apps are not desktop grade level apps in a lot of cases, especially if you've got heavy workflows using Final Cut Pro and Logic and stuff like that. And look, if you don't use those types of apps, then none of this applies to you. But if you do, stuff that you're used to doing on your computer, you're gonna find that you can't quite do it in the same way. And I guess the second sticking point is the price, which sounds really obvious, but can you justify paying for an iPad Pro, let's say, with a Magic Keyboard over a baseline MacBook Air at $999, which is one of the best value devices you can buy right now? And I'd say the only way you could justify paying the extra few $100 for the iPad combo would be if you really, really care about having that hybrid-like device, you know, having that touch screen and being able to use the Apple Pencil. If that's something that you really must have, then perhaps you could justify it now. But if the question is purely, is it good enough for most people as a hybrid device? I would say 100% yes. I wish as a student I'd had an iPad because I could like take it to lectures and take notes and stuff like that, and then come home to my bedroom and dock it and use it as a normal computer. I would say for most people, most of the time, it will do most of the things you need it to do. And that was true before, but it was maybe 80% of most things, and now it's probably 90% of most things with all of the new features, particularly around window management. But let me know your thoughts on this. Are you thinking of going iPad only now that these significant updates have been announced? And if you want to see some very cool productivity apps for your iPad in 2025, then I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one. I'll see you there.